training, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao together with the Presidential Communications Office.
We bring you the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news coverage from the People's Television, IBC, Philippine News Agency, Philippine Information Agency, and Presidential Broadcast Service. I'm Princess Habiba Saripauda.
And I'm Joe Fernandez. We are from Radyo Pilipinas. Welcome to Balitang Pambansa. Tonight's headlines. The lower house tri-committee hearing on fake news and disinformation will continue tomorrow. The U.S. Typhoon missile system will be part of the Combined Armed Training Exercise, or CATEX Katihan, of the Philippine Army. The Department of Agriculture, or DA, will consult with stakeholders regarding the imposition of the maximum suggested retail price, or MSRP, on pork.
On top of the news, only 3 of 41 vloggers and social media influencers invited to the first House Tricom hearing exactly 2 weeks ago showed up in what many believe was an apparent show of defiance. Show cause orders have been issued as a result. So tomorrow's second hearing by the House Troy Committee on the spread of disinformation and fake news is expected to draw greater participation as we hear this detailed report from our Mela Les Moras.
The House Tri-Committee is set to hold its second hearing tomorrow as it ramps up its investigation into the growing threat of disinformation and fake news online. According to One Rider Party List Representative Rog Gutierrez, the lawmakers should focus on the alleged Chinese-backed disinformation campaigns on social media this time.
Nabanggit po ito by one of the resource persons, I think it was Press One, na there was a link between misinformation and allegedly Chinese-owned accounts, Chinese backing. There is allegedly a link between Chinese backing of misinformation in the West Philippine Sea and political campaigns for certain individuals in the country. So I think doon pa lang very important.
House Assistant Majority Leader Zia Alonto Adjong said that social media influencers who were previously issued a show cause order by the committee should appear at the hearing. Lawmakers simply want to hear their side and this should not be seen as a suppression of their freedom of speech.
Lalo na pag ganitong campaign period, talagang nagagamit ito to propagate fake news. I think all of us should agree that we need to regulate this, the dissemination of malinformation, disinformation. If there's no valid reason for their absence again this time, baka umakyat na yan sa siya nag-show cause order and then baka isupina na sila.
According to House Committee on Public Order and Safety Chair Dan Fernandez, who is leading the TRICOM, they want to determine whether the existing laws are sufficient to prevent the spread of misinformation in the country or new laws are needed to address the issue. Meanwhile, regarding the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte, lawmakers are hoping for the trial to begin soon. This after a petition was filed before the Supreme Court urging the Senate to constitute themselves immediately into an impeachment court.
Kami po, nire-respeto po namin ang stand ng Senate bilang they have the sole authority and responsibility in relation to the subject of impeachment as convening as the impeachment court. Ngunit as a personal opinion, ako po naniniwala po dun sa panig ng ibang mga luminaries na yung forthwith provision ng Constitution would mean agad. And I think that's what the Mandamos petition is talking about. And so I would tend to agree with that petition po.
For now, the House Prosecution Panel continues its preparations as they consider it part of their constitutional duties. From PTV, Mela Les Moras, Balitang Pambansa.
The Typhoon Missile System will be part of the Philippine Army's Combined Armed Training Exercise, or CATEX, running until March 22. Philippine Army General Roy Galido clarified that there will be no live fire exercises, just an orientation. This training is linked to the Philippines' planned purchase of the system from the U.S. The National Security Council, or NSC, has defended its presence in the country despite China's objections. AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Padilla says that the training focuses on familiarizing with the system's use, while Lieutenant General Galido highlighted its integration into the country's defense plans.
Ito pong rehearse natin on how it's gonna be used and yung functionality po niya. Parte po ito tuwing meron po tayong mga exercises na nagaganap kasama po ang Estados Unidos.
For us, we're in the level of appreciating the system and being able to understand how to utilize it in our defense concept.
Meanwhile, the Department of Agriculture, or DA, is consulting stakeholders on the implementation of a maximum suggested retail price, or MSRP, for pork, aiming to set the price at 400 pesos per kilo, down from 450 to 480 pesos. The DA is also exploring options to make pork and chicken more affordable, similar to rice initiatives. Additionally, the Agriculture Department is working on reducing the MSRP for 5% broken imported rice to 49 pesos by March and plans to release 150,000 metric tons of National Food Authority rice to local government units in response to National Food Security Emergency.
Kung ang farm gate mo 250, so yung nababanggit nga na 100 to 100 plus na profit margin, so 380 is reasonable.
The second ASEAN Regional Correctional Conference was successfully held in Palawan. The conference discussed prison transfer between ASEAN countries. According to Bureau of Corrections Chief Director General Gregorio Catapang Jr., the ASEAN countries showed their interest in implementing the transferring of prisoners, servicing their sentence in other countries. As of now, the agency is continuously gathering the data of Filipinos who are convicted in ASEAN countries.
Na pwede naman siguro kung may sentensyadong Pilipinos sa among the ASEAN countries, they can be brought back here and they serve their sentence, katulad na nangyari kay Mary Jane.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, will celebrate its 74th anniversary on February 18 tomorrow, highlighting significant strides in poverty alleviation and social welfare programs. Among its key initiatives is the expansion of the Walang Gutong program, which has already assisted 300,000 households and aims to reach 1 million families by 2027. The DSWD's Assistance to Individuals in Crisis Situations, or IACS program, has provided financial aid to over 5 million individuals in 2022. Meanwhile, the Tara Basa tutoring program has benefited over 216 individuals, showing 5.5% improvement in reading proficiency among struggling learners. The DSWD's initiatives also include efforts to address water scarcity and food insecurity through the LAWA and BINHI programs, which have reached 61 provinces and over 140,000 individuals. The Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, or 4Ps, continues to empower low-income families with over 600,000 households graduating in 2024, while the Oplan Pag-abot project has supported over 4,000 individuals transitioning out of street life. Additionally, DSWD has honored over 12,000 centenarians with cash gifts totaling over 1.2 billion pesos. In other news, the Department of Migrant Workers, or DMWD, ramped up its programs for OFWs in compliance with the directive of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. DMW is continuously fighting against illegal recruitment and human trafficking. In fact, the department has fixed more than 2 million OFW contracts thus far, while it has taken down almost 20,000 illegal recruitment establishments. So far, DMW has helped almost 135,000 OFWs through its Action Fund. The agency aims to focus on promoting bilateral agreements with other countries to create more opportunities for OFWs. Meanwhile, lawmakers called out former President Rodrigo Duterte for suggesting that some senators should be killed through an explosion to create vacancies in the upper chamber. House Assistant Majority Leader Zia Alonto Ajong called for an investigation by the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, emphasizing that even jokes about killing should never be normalized. For his part, One Rider Party List Representative Roger Gutierrez, a lawyer, warned that Duterte could face grave threat charges, stressing the seriousness of the words and the need for senators to increase their protection. Both officials agreed that such statements should not be taken lightly, regardless of the intent behind them.
Hindi dapat man normalize yung salita na patayin, or even sa mga, if you go to mga airports naman, di ka naman talaga po pwedeng mag-bomb joke ng, yung bomb threat na jokes kasi automatically you'll be, mapupusasan ka. How much more, for example, for say that out in the public?
Ako si Sharon B. Eugenio, ang manager ng Mawanan, Baloncanag, Gadangaw Farmers Irrigators Credit Cooperative. Ang MBGFICC ay nagsimula bilang komunal na grupo noong 1981 ng aming mga ninuno. Sa tulong ng DAR ay na-develop ito noong 2012 dahil sa project na ARSP3. Nagsimula ang aming asosasyon noong 2012 at naging kooperatiba noong 2018. Nagsimula ang operasyon nito noong 2019 at kasabay nito ang pagtanggap ng iba't ibang benepisyo mula sa DAR. Noon ay kulang kami sa mga makinarya, pansaka, mabagal at nahihirapan kami sa pagsasaka. Noong April 17, 2024 sa Kawayan City ay kasama kami sa 23 Agrarian Reform Beneficiary Organization na nakatanggap ng 80 farm machineries equipment. Sa aming mahal na DAR Secretary, Secretary Conrado M. Estrella III, sa lahat ng bumubuo sa Department of Agrarian Reform. At lalong-lalo na sa ating mahal na Presidente, PBBM, taos-puso pong pasasalamat. Ang 4-wheel drive 95 horsepower tractor na aming natanggap ay makakatulong sa paglago ng aming arbo. Dahil dito at sa iba pang mga benepisyo ay mayroong karagdagang pangkabuhayan ang aming mga miyembro. Salamat po sa inyong programa, lalo na po sa amin na nasa laylayan ng lipunan.
Bagong Pilipinas, bagong buhay para sa kooperatiba ng magsasaka.
And we are back. After declaring a dengue outbreak in Quezon City due to the continuous increase in the number of dengue cases, residents of Barangay Old Balara are intensifying its measures against the mosquito-borne illness. The barangay is mulling releasing of frog into the river and other places to help combat dengue. In 2018 and 2019, Barangay Old Balara also released frogs after 2 persons reportedly died and nearly 200 people were stricken with dengue. However, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources or DENR and the Department of Health or DOH does not support this solution as it has not been proven effective in fighting the illness. The barangay says it will follow the government's orders and will instead focus on intensifying its information dissemination drive.
Ang susundin po muna natin yung 5S strategy ng Department of Health. Yung pagpapakawala siguro ng palaka ay last option na lang po natin yun. Kung hindi po natin masugpo.
On the other news, the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, has completed 2 major road projects in Albay, benefiting motorists and farmers in the province's 1st and 3rd districts. The 14.92 million peso farm-to-market road in Barangay Tagpo, Ligao City improves access to rice farmlands, making transportation to and from markets more efficient. Meanwhile, in Barangay Bantayan, Tabaco City, DPWH also expanded a section of the Ligao Tabaco Road from 2 to 4 lanes. The 19.80 million peso project is expected to ease traffic congestion and includes drainage systems and solar-powered streetlights for improved road safety. DPWH Regional Office 5 Director Virgilio Eduarte said that these projects align with the government's push for agricultural and infrastructure development under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. With these improvements, Albay's farmers and motorists can expect better connectivity and economic opportunities.
In other news, whale sharks are known to be migratory fish which need to be in constant motion to keep the flow of water over and into their gills. Hence, feeding them their accustomed diet may alter such behavior and put them biologically at risk. As such, the provincial government of Bohol has issued a complete stoppage into humans feeding whale sharks in the towns of Lila, Daquis, and Albuquerque, as PIA Bohol correspondent Elvira Bongosha reports.
To protect Bohol's tourism and enforce the law against feeding the migratory marine mammals, the provincial government of Bohol has suspended the whale shark interaction activities in the province. Executive Order Number 10, Series of 2025 was recently signed ordering the indefinite stoppage of all whale shark interactions in Lila, Albuquerque, and Dawis towns. The order was issued based on the findings of an interagency team which found that the whale shark interactions involved feeding them with krill to lure the marine mammals to stay. This is in violation of Provincial Ordinance Number 2020-008 and Joint Memorandum Circular Number 1, Series of 2020, issued by the Department of Tourism, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Department of Agriculture, and the Department of Interior and Local Government. The suspension of the whale shark feeding shall remain in force until all applicable requirements for these activities have been met, following a comprehensive industry-wide consultation with stakeholders and conservation groups.
From Philippine Information Agency Bohol, LB Bongosya for Balitang Pambansa.
Isabela City's local government office just endowed city fire station with a brand new spanking new and customized pickup/emergency rescue vehicle for beefed up emergency response and fire control purposes. Since 2020, Isabela City LGU has provided close to 78 million pesos in peace and order empowerment and public safety maintenance. PIA Basilan correspondent Nilda de los Reyes has the full report.
To strengthen public safety and emergency response in Isabela City, the Bureau of Fire Protection recently received a brand new emergency rescue vehicle courtesy of the local government unit. The new vehicle, valued at 1,597,225 pesos, was formally turned over by Mayor City Jalia Torabin Hataman to Acting City Fire Marshal Senior Fire Inspector Vincent Toribio in a ceremony held recently. The procurement of the emergency rescue vehicle is part of the Peace and Order and Public Safety Plan for year 2024. A flagship initiative of the local government unit aims to ensuring the safety and welfare of all Isabeleños. With this asset added to the city's fire station, residents can expect faster and more efficient rescue operations. The new vehicle is equipped with the latest emergency response technology, enabling fire personnel to respond quickly and effectively to emergency situations. Isabela City Fire Station, represented by Acting Fire Marshal Toribio, expressed gratitude to the city government for its supports in enhancing public safety in Isabela City. He stressed that the arrival of the new emergency rescue vehicle is a welcome development for their fire station. He expressed that this will enable them to respond more quickly and effectively to emergencies, ensuring the safety and well-being of all those affected. Since 2020 until this year, the city government of Isabela de Basilan has allocated 77,137,962 pesos for peace and order and public safety. From Basilan Province, Nilda de los Reyes of Philippine Information Agency for Balitang Pambansa.
Bien Unido residents would need to cover nearly 20 kilometers to go to Talibon, but things may change soon. This as the government is set to open a 96 million peso 4-lane jumbo bridge that connects Bien Unido to Bohol. Ray Anthony Chu of Philippine Information Agency Bohol tells us more.
From Talibon and Trinidad towns come Bien Unido, a town whose name translates to Good Union. The youngest town in Bohol, Bien Unido is separated from Talibon, which is the largest commercial district in the northeast of Bohol, by the Ipil River. Without the river, Poblacion Talibon from Poblacion Bien Unido is 8 kilometers away. However, with the Ipil River, travel between the two towns can take nearly 20 kilometers via Trinidad. Because of this, Bohol leaders have been pushing for a bridge that crosses the Ipil River from Nueva Esperanza in Bien Unido to San Isidro in Talibon. Set for completion by December, the 96 million jumbo bridge would comprise of reinforced concrete deck girders of 4 lanes and standard sidewalks. This way, people from both riverbanks can start economic ventures that would spur development in this sleepy side of Bohol.
So, naana ni ma-open na ni tulay, siguro mabawas-bawasan siguro mga 5 or 10 minutos nga na. Depende ra po na sa padagan nimo sa sakyanan.
From the Philippine Information Agency in Bohol, Ray Anthony Chu for Balitang Pambansa.
Do not go anywhere. Balitang Pambansa will return after a few reminders.
Comelec, Usapang Halalan 2025. Malapit na. Dito lang sa PTV.
Karamihan sa amin ay nag-asawa na lang, walang pinag-aralan, hindi po kami educated. Bakit ipinanganak ako na IP ako na parang walang mga opportunity na para sa amin?
Nagbabaon kami, kanin lang, ang ulam, bagoong, gano'n. Talagang wala nang kaya ang magulang ko.
Hango sa kwento ng mga totoong tao. Tahanan ng mga award-winning documentaries. Public Eye sa PTV. Pagdating sa mga suliranin at isyung pambayan, lahat nadadala sa malalimang usapan. Pag-usapan natin kasama si Oscar Orbos. Malapit na. Abangan sa PTV. Health Watch, alerto, pangkalusugan. Mag-ingat sa dengue. Ang dengue ay isang viral infection na nagmumula sa kagat ng lamok na Aedes na sanhi din ng iba pang sakit gaya ng Zika virus at chikungunya. Ito ay nagdudulot ng mataas na lagnat, pamamantal, pananakit sa likod ng mata at ulo, kasukasuan at kalamnan na pwedeng magtuloy sa severe dengue na may kasamang pananakit ng tiyan at pagsusuka, pagdurugo at hirap sa paghinga. Ang mga sintomas ay karaniwang nagtatagal mula 2 hanggang 7 araw. Tandaan ang 4S sa laban natin kontra dengue. Suyurin at sirain ang mga pinamumugaran ng lamok. Sarili ay protektahan. Sumangguni agad sa pinakamalapit na doktor o pagamutan at suportahan ang fogging at spraying activities kapag may banta ng outbreak. Tandaan, sa panahon ng sakit, dapat laging listo.
In a world and time when so much is changing, there is still so much of our culture that has to be documented and kept alive. Who are the bearers of these precious living cultures? How do they pass on a knowledge transmitted through the ages? What they represent has survived colonization, conflict, marginalization, and yet they persist. Sila ang sisidlan, the living vessels that store dayaw, our knowledge, our pride.
Dayaw, a celebration of Filipino culture and heritage with Senator Loren Ligarda. Only on Your People's Television.
For our weather update, shear line is affecting the eastern section of northern Luzon, while the Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ is affecting southern Mindanao. Meanwhile, the northeast monsoon is affecting extreme northern Luzon. Based on Pag-asa's latest monitoring, Batanes, Cagayan, and Apayao may experience cloudy skies with rains. Isabela and Aurora may experience cloudy skies with scattered rains and isolated thunderstorms caused by the shear line. Sultan Kudarat, Sarangani, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi may expect cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. Meanwhile, Metro Manila and the rest of the country may experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms due to easterlies.
And that wraps up our rundown of the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news and information from all across the nation. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Joe Fernandez.
14 days to go and it's Ramadan. This is your trusted news source, always ready to inform and serve the Filipino people. Catch Balitang Pambansa again tomorrow at 7 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m., and 9:30 p.m. for more updates and developments. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Princess Abiba Saripaudak, and this is
Balitang Pambansa.